Hi there, welcome back. Well, if you've been here for a while, then you know that it has been a little over a year since I've posted my last video. When I stepped away from the camera that day, I honestly believed that my time here on YouTube was over. I had tried so many different things on this channel, and some of it felt good, but most of it just didn't feel right. I knew for sure when I started the channel that I wanted this to be all about homemaking, but homemaking is a very broad topic. And I found myself going down a lot of different rabbit holes while I was here. And like I said, I just didn't feel right. I felt like I was always struggling to find my place, but I just couldn't put my finger on what the problem was. Well, I'm happy to say that the time away brought a lot of clarity. First of all, yes, I am very passionate about homemaking, the whole broad spectrum of homemaking, but whenever it comes to being on YouTube and creating this channel, I finally realized where my passion lies. And that is in all of the systems, the routines, and the tasks that help real people run real homes. It's not in all the fluff, it's not in all the aesthetics and the trend chasing. Simply, it's in the nuts and bolts that make a house a home and that makes everything function well together. So moving forward, this channel will begin focusing on what it was always meant to focus on, and that is practical home management for real life. So welcome to Positively Home. My name is Luann, and I am so glad that you're here today. Okay, as we move forward in today's video, I want to use this time to lay the foundation for what this channel is going to be based on moving forward. So the first thing I want to do is answer the question of what does it mean to manage a home? And usually whenever I ask that question or you hear that question, the first thing that pops to mind is going to be cleaning. While cleaning is very important and it does have its place, and you'll hear about that in just a minute, there's so much more to managing a home than just having a clean kitchen. I believe that home management is made up of 4 essential responsibilities. We can call them pillars of home management, or what I would really like to do is maybe help this make sense by using the puzzle analogy. And what that is if you think of home management as the big picture, the completed picture of a puzzle, these pillars would be the categories that you separate your pieces into. I know that whenever I work a puzzle, I don't just dump it out of the box and then just start grabbing all the little pieces and wondering how they all fit together. The first step that I do is to separate the pieces into categories. I first do my edge pieces and then the sky pieces. If there's a house, then I'll put all the house pieces, the landscaping pieces, and so on, so that everything is broken down into manageable categories. And that would represent in the big picture of home management as these 4 pillars that I'm going to be going over with you today. So let's go ahead and talk about that first pillar of home management, and yes, it's going to be the cleaning. Cleaning is what keeps our homes healthy, comfortable, and ready for everyday life. Moving forward, we'll cover realistic cleaning routines, simple habits, and practical tips that will help you stay ahead of the mess instead of always feeling like you're catching up. Now, the second pillar is going to be organizing. And let me be clear, whenever I say organizing, I am not talking about buying all of the pretty little containers that you can put all of your stuff in, and no, it's not going to be about that at all. Whenever I talk about organizing, it's going to be about giving everything a home, reducing clutter, and making daily life easier. The goal would be to spend less time searching for everything and more time actually living and enjoying your life. Now, moving on to the third pillar, that is going to be the home administration. Now, the pieces that are going to fall under this category are going to be things like your calendars, budgeting, meal plans, home binders, emergency preparedness, and all of the other behind the scenes things that keep your home running smoothly. Now that brings us to the fourth and final category, and that is home maintenance. The pieces here will consist of simple seasonal tasks, preventative maintenance, and practical projects that will protect your home and help you avoid costly repairs. Now, what I would like from you is to know, out of the four categories that I mentioned here, the cleaning, the organizing, the home administration, and the home maintenance, which one do you struggle the most with? Okay, now the next thing that I kind of want to throw out there is my philosophy whenever it comes to managing a home. And that's that I don't believe you're naturally born with knowing how to do this. You're not naturally born knowing how often you should clean out your refrigerator, how to organize your important documents, or for that matter, what important documents you should even have, or how to create routines that are gonna stick. But the good thing is every one of these skills can be learned, and that's exactly what we're gonna be doing together here. Now, I want to make one thing very clear before we go any further, and that's that I do not live in a perfect house. Life gets very busy here. Some seasons are easier than others, but over the years, I have discovered that having good systems in place creates more peace than a perfectly curated home ever could. And if something I've learned can make your life a little easier, then I definitely want to share that with you. So if you're someone who is actually looking for practical home management solutions, realistic routines, or just simple ways to get ahead of the mess instead of always trying to catch up, or if you just wish someone would show you how to manage your home without all the pressure of it looking perfect, then I think that you're going to be very comfortable here. Remember, before we go, let me know in the comments section down below, which of the four pillars do you struggle with the most? The cleaning, the organizing, the home administration, or the home management? And moving forward, throughout the next few videos, we're going to dive deeper into each one of those categories, which is going to lay the whole foundation for this channel moving forward. So if anything that I mentioned here today sounds like something that you need, I hope that you'll go ahead and subscribe now and join me on this journey as we take one room, one routine, and one step at a time in making your home a more enjoyable and stress-free place to live. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Positively Home.